not built this. I don't know how big it's gonna be, but it looks like fun. You know, I was really looking forward to this kit, and now it's frustrating as shit. Watch me lose my mind. It makes you think, like, look, how much of the stuff that we bought in the 2000s is just not made to last. My goal with this piece is to get it to a place where I can stick it on the shelf and never have to touch it again. Man, fuck this toy! Fuck this toy! You know what? I'm gonna try super glue anyways, because at this point I don't give a shit. Hey everybody, it's Josh from CollectionDX.com. I'm back for a little bit. I don't know. I wanted to show you this. This is the Space Battleship Yamato mechanic file. And what this is a series of candy toys, trading kits, whatever, but it's a cutaway when you're done of the Space Battleship Yamato. This case has not been opened as far as I know, so we are gonna check it out. There are 8 kits in the set, and combined will make a Yamato. I have not built this. I don't know how big it's gonna be, but it looks like fun. So I wanted to show you this text. In 2199, the Earth is attacked by the Gamulus. There is not fate of the Earth besides great navigation to Iskandar, star of the 148 million light-year distance. Space Battleship Yamato does great navigation to far up Iskandar to save the human. All right, we still haven't got a proofreader in there at Bandai, but you know, whatever. So they're all numbered. It's box 1. Let's see what this looks like. Let's Oh, interesting. On the inside of the box is a little technical diagram. That's kind of fun. You get the instructions for the piece you're on. Oh, all right. This is involved. And then what's this looks like? Putting all the pieces together, maybe. And then I don't know what that is. Like side panels, I guess. And for parts in this kit, you can see here, you've got really just 2. So this should give you an idea, kind of like the size of the overall kit when it's done. So it's going to be a pretty good size. And the detail here is really nice. So I'm not going to bore you with each assembly step, but we'll reconvene when it is together. So an interesting thing I'm noticing about this kit, I'm on like set 4, is there's all kinds of, the plastic has got this film on it with age. I don't know what it is, but it's like, you know, it's got a, you know, you can rub it off pretty easily, but I can only imagine it'll come back over time. I mean, it is almost 15, wow, it's almost 20 years old. So that's what, you know, some of this plastic will do over time. It's still durable, but it has a, I don't know if it's got an outgassing or some kind of film on the outside. It does add a nice sort of, you know, texture to it that makes it look more than the PVC material it is, but it's just something to know. You know, I was really looking forward to this kit, and now it's frustrating as shit. First of all, the instructions are kind of crap. I mean, it just shows all the parts on, and it shows you all the screws, but what it doesn't tell you is the fucking order to put them on. So that's annoying as shit. Secondly is these little cannons, and there are a lot of them, they just pop right out when you put them in. And I think a lot of that's due to that outgassing stuff, is that there's not enough friction to hold them in. You can see it happening already on those. You know, you push them in and they just come right up. So I am now going to take a Q-tip and clean every one of these holes out of their little dusty whatever the hell is on it, and see if that makes a difference. But There's a lot going on here, and what I'm also not looking forward to is, you put it all together, but in order to, like, for example, these guns go in over the panel, but if you want to display this as a cutaway, you have to take all the guns off and then remove the panel. So this is some pain in the ass shit. So be prepared. So here's the assembled model. I guess you call it a model. If it looks like a mess, it's because it is. This thing is one of the most frustrating things that I've had the displeasure of experiencing in a long time. I love Yamato. I love Star Blazers. I love this ship design. I really, really wanted this to be fun. But oh my God, I was losing my mind putting this together. So in a nutshell, you have this sort of hard plastic outer covering that inside has a softer plastic internal. So the inside plastic, and I'll show you in a minute, is similar to, remember when the early Soul Skokins came out, they had these rubber fists, hard rubber fists. And over time, those things sort of get a powdery film on the outside that you can rub right off and it's fine. It's made out of that. So it's like a softer plastic inside with a harder plastic outside. But there are components on the outside that are also softer plastic, and that's mainly the guns and bits and that. But what has happened over time is that because that softer plastic has got that film on it, a lot of the plugs that hold this whole thing together are in that softer plastic, and then they don't connect as well when you insert the pegs into the holes. And thus pieces just don't fit right, require a lot of force, and then just sort of slowly work their way out. You can already see it happening on the guns here, is that I've tried to peg them in here and they are just sort of popping out now. That is going to be a theme. But I didn't buy this to display it like this. I bought it to display it like the cutaway model. So we'll go into a couple of the features in sort of this mode, and then we'll do cutaway, and we'll sort of live cutaway it and watch me lose my mind. So of course you have cannons that rotate, and they do have independently movable barrels. All of these do work. These will turn, but they're just in with friction. Same thing here. These work and these work. There are wings that come out from the side, which is a nice touch. And on the bottom, there's the little door for this lower bridge. And then there is actually a little door underneath for the ship launch, right? And I will say that there are a lot of little ships that come with this. Cosmo Tigers and Cosmo Zeros and all these things. And there are places for them, but I haven't put them in yet. So there's that. First thing, let's talk about the base here. The base is made of 5 segments, and they are, fine. Each base, though, requires its own stand, because ultimately this base goes with this section, this section. So I guess let's start undressing the Yamato. I mean, I'll just pick it up, right? Like, you can see you're not going to fly this thing around the room. And in fact, let's just take this piece off. And you can see, let's look at the nose. And this is actually one of the more together type pieces. And you can just see that even like as much as you clip pieces in, it's just not working. But this isn't just a let's take pieces off type of model. There's actually layers that you can take apart. So for example, let's take this piece off. Okay, and look at all that nice detail you got down there. But if you wanted to go even further, go even farther. Now that looks cool. You see the torpedoes, you see the inner workings of the wave motion gun. But worth noting is that almost every little piece here is a separate piece, it is like a puzzle. So you could, in fact, just deconstruct this thing down to its really core elements. You could have both sides be completely exposed. And when I talk about that, the plastic and its sort of film or whatever it is, like this is that here. So notice when I kind of wipe it away, the whole texture, the visible changes. You know, it's this dusty surface. And it really sort of makes you think, like, it feels sort of waxy once you do that. It makes you think, like, look, how much of the stuff that we bought in the 2000s is just not made to last, right? This was 2005, so it's like 19 years old, and you can just see the degradation at this stage. Now, the bonus of this is I actually kind of like the patina that this gives when you kind of clean it off a little bit. But note that it is a futile gesture. It's just gonna come back. So basically, if you like it, be lucky, because that's what you're getting. So I mean, I know this kind of looks like a sensual massage of a Yamato, but you know, it is what it is, right? But yeah, each one of these interior pieces are that kind of softer rubber. But I'll admit though, that's phenomenal looking. I really like that, and that's why I bought this. Is I want this display. So if I can get this display to look good, that's going to be something that's very, very cool. So we're going to do this for each section. I'm not going to torture you with every disassembly section, but you'll be able to see the process here. So I've got most of them apart. This is the one I've been dreading, is this section here, because there's a lot of disassembly has to happen to take this piece off. So essentially, at least these have to come out. Will it just let me do that? Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's and some interesting details in here that I kind of really like, is that, I mean, this thing doesn't stay on for shit, but under each of these bridges, you have a little bit of detail. And if you can really see under this bridge, you can see the main bridge that we're kind of used to. I guess you can see the compass there and the command bridge. I think it's a real nice bit of detail in there that I appreciate. Now, if it would just stay on to save its life, that would be fine. But no. And this bridge section doesn't come apart in the half and half sort of way, right, that the other ones do. But this is going to come off. So now I have to go in and add all of these little guns back on to get them in, and it's just so frustrating because you can see already, like, you push these in, you know, and they're just gonna pop out in a minute, or it feels like a minute. I don't know, maybe without that other plastic bit it might be a little better, but you can see you can really push them down and then they just sort of pop back up. My goal with this piece is to get it to a place where I can stick it on the shelf and never have to touch it again, and it will look great. But the process here has really sucked. It doesn't want to stay in. And, like, just go in. See, they're all just popping up. It's kind of lame. And now I made a mistake is I put those in before I put the ones below them in. And because now I'm going to use my fingers to put those in, and it's going to pop the other ones off. So you can just see the frustration as I'm doing this. I put one piece on, another piece comes off. I put another piece on, another piece comes off. Yeah, that was my night last night. This whole section here took me like an hour. And it was so frustrating to do. It was losing my mind. So it is not aged well. It is not something for if you don't have patience. Helpful if you have some kind of tool to kind of clean and to push these things down with. But also, if you wanted to get in here, you need like, I don't know, a Q-tip maybe. And I don't know. I thought about gluing this all together, but this material is so sort of waxy that this glue is not going to make these things stick. So good luck. Good luck. Man, fuck this toy. Fuck this toy. Every time I seem to be coming to fucking peace with it, it just decides to just tell me to go fuck myself. And I'm so sick of it. Oh my God. How the fuck? Just the thing just explodes if you fucking look at it wrong. Like, it's just not engineered well. It's a real fucking rare, complete fucking miss from Bandai. Like, maybe when this came out, it was fucking better. But oh my God, you just look at it wrong and things just, like, they don't even just come apart, they fucking explode. Oh, fuck. Like, it's so annoying. Who the fuck designs shit like this? Just everything you touch a piece and another piece goes, nope, not gonna do that. And I know I have fucking gorilla monkey fingers, but there's another piece falling off. But like, it's still, what was the thought besides let's frustrate the shit out of people? The design that doesn't work. I was so close too. I was so close to having it just done and not touching it anymore. And then, okay. But like now, this piece, there's a couple of problem areas is what it comes down to. This fucking piece in the back just doesn't want to stay. This fucking piece. And it's, it's only fucking critical to the goddamn engine of the ship. And this doesn't plug into anything. It relies on, like, hold on. This fucking thing. I love cutaway shit, but like, this is, it's a fucking nightmare. I mean, this can't be fun for you to watch, but hopefully you're getting my frustration here. You can see, so what this is that this is the engine, and there's these little tabs here, and that tab indicates the bottom, right? So it should go right in there and go in there. And in theory, now you can see the tabs visible through the hole, is you put this piece in there, and it should kind of connect somehow. But you can see what's happening here, and that answer is nothing. Now that it's in, but it's that soft, gummy fucking material, and then it's off again. So now I gotta come in here and like fucking figure out how to de-gummy this hole so the piece will just stay in there. You know what? I'm gonna try super glue anyways, because at this point I don't give a shit. Fucking super glue, fuck you. Fuck you. Well, here it is. Under no circumstances should anybody buy this. I'm sure there are plastic model kits that do the cutaway thing way better than this. This was a nightmare. Oh my God, it was terrible. And it doesn't even look that great. I mean, the cutaway concept is cool, but it's just poorly executed. And you can even see, like, if you, like the places where the sections combine, like you can push these together and they'll just slowly ease their way out over time. So like nothing will just sit where you leave it. And again, it's because of that gassing or whatever is happening with these gummy blocks that make up the Tetris of the inner workings. And it's a real shame because there are cool things in this design from a toy perspective. Like, for example, this whole section under here actually has a hollow bit inside that has a grasper for ship storage under here, which is neat. This whole section under here is a little door that opens up for vehicles. Inside here is a whole bunch of detail over like at the core of the engine of the ship that you don't see until you take it apart. Same thing with some of this engine detail. These all come off and there are pieces inside of it that, again, there's detail inside of detail for all of these things that is really nicely done in theory. But again, none of it sticks together. And the panels, all these panels, they just, because they plug into these waxy blocks, they just eject themselves over time. It's really frustrating, and frustrating is really not the right word. Maddening, is it? So essentially this is going to go carefully from here onto my display shelf and never be touched again. I don't know, man. It was a great idea. Maybe it all held together when it was original. It's not holding together now. It's a goddamn nightmare now. So, one thing to note, I guess if you care, there are two different versions of this kit. There is this version, and then there is a translucent yellow version that kind of looks like space urine. I can't imagine this being any better, that version being any better than this version. I am not about to find out, but again, your mileage may vary. It depends how much you hate yourself and how much you love Yamato. Yeah. So this is Josh from CollectionDX.com. Thank you for sharing in my misery. This has probably been way too long, but you'll have seen at least what the deal is with this kit. I'm going to need another vacation from reviewing just because of this. Bye.